Alright. Hello, Flosstube. I have watched plenty of hours of Flosstube, and I am just like, you know what, I can do this. I'm gonna do this. Hi, my name is Robin, and this is my first Flosstube. This is my first Flosstube. So I'm gonna kind of do a work in progress tour, tell you a little bit about myself, and what's going on with me, and I will wrap it there. This will probably be a fairly short Flosstube as far as Flosstubes are concerned, and we'll see how this goes. So hi, I'm Robin, I'm 42, I work in IT, I am good with computers, and when I get home, I don't want to look at a computer, so I wind up going back to cross-stitch. I have been cross-stitching on and off for about 30 years, more off than on, and I love reading, I love writing, I love all the nerd stuff you can imagine. And that's why I was off of cross-stitching for a long time, because I couldn't find designs that really appealed to that. And now there are more nerdy patterns, there are more subversive patterns. There's people like the Witchy Stitcher and Night Spirit Studios and Prudence Kitsch, and I am forgetting all of the other designers that I love off the top of my head. It's the lights. The second I have lights on me and I'm trying to speak, my brain goes blank. So, if you want to play a really fun game, you can use water and take shots every time I say or I stress that you should do this with water because I know how bad my video is going to be. So, 42, work in IT, love to cross-stitch, love to write, love to read. The water you hear in the background is my fish tank. I am the mom, I guess? I don't know. The parent to 5 fishies. I have 4 Harlequin Rasboras in a 10-gallon tank. I do plan on getting them some more friends. And I have 1 male beta whose name is Bob, and he has to live by himself because he is angry all of the time. And like beta males can and beta females can live with non-beta fish. They can live with like Rasboras and Tetras and stuff like that. But he is just too angry for all of that. So he has to live in the kitchen by himself. And he is quite happy. He's also an idiot. That's a whole nother video. But so we're going to do a work in progress tour. Some of these I'm taking to StitchCon. What is StitchCon? It is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, half a Sunday. So I would say it's a 4-ish day retreat in Cincinnati, put on by Keepsakes, which is a needle shop up there, local needleworking shop up there. And they basically they get a convention center for the weekend. And about 350 stitchers show up from all over. And they have like tables that seat like 5 or 6. And you just go, you bring some stitching, and you stitch, right? That's how it goes. So, if you finish a project at StitchCon, you get to ring a bell. So that's the project we're going to start with. Instead of actually working on any of the other projects that I have going, I started a new one that will hopefully be small enough that I can finish it and hit that bell at StitchCon. And that is this, which is Palmistry by the Witchy Stitcher. Let me use the pretty picture for it instead of the crappy picture. So this is Palmistry by the Witchy Stitcher. They are one of my favorite designers. They're amazing. The fabric is either cozy sweater or comfy sweater. Hold on. Cozy. It is Cozy Sweater by Live and Die LA. They are one of my favorite fabric dyers, and a lot of my fabric comes from there. So that is what is on my lap stand right now. I just got that like a week or 2 ago, and it is super helpful. So that's what I'm hoping to finish at StitchCon and ring the bell. I'm also taking this, which is a Star Wars pattern that I got from Forbidden Fabrico, and it came with the project bag, which is adorable. Don't ask where the extra floss came from. We don't ask those questions. It came with the fabric, it came with a needle minder, and it came with the pattern and all the floss to finish the pattern. So it's a complete kit all in one, and it was a mystery box, and they had it for May the 4th, and that's what it says. And so I got all the floss, and they're all hand dyed, and they're amazing. And then this was the needle minder that came with it, which is super awesome. And then this is the needle minder that I also already had that I put on it, because if I'm going to be stitching something about Leia, well, or if I'm going to be stitching something about Star Wars, there is absolutely no reason why Leia is not going to be involved. So that's one of the projects going to StitchCon. And then I have Ars Robotica. He's in timeout. He's probably not going to StitchCon. Looks like this. It will look like, it looked like a motherboard to me. It very much looked like a motherboard to me. So I thought instead of just doing it the way it came, I was going to do it on green fabric, and I was going to do it with this really cool variegated, completely getting blown out by my lights color. It is, what the heck color is that? 4124 by DMC. And it's just this really, really pretty variegated orange. But I have to frog all of that and redo it because I was off like 2 stitches. And this pattern is so tight that I don't know that I can get away with being off by 2 stitches. I also have, not going to StitchCon, is my Lunar Witch. Lunar Witch was offered as a pattern and a fabric by Live and Die LA. It is an Autumn Lane pattern. However, I did buy it before all of the drama happened with Autumn Lane. And this is the fabric, and this is what I've gotten so far. Let me flip that right side up. That is the hat, and it's going up into the top spiry section. I'm not really good at center starts, but this one, luckily, the center start was like the bottom of page 1. So I am trying it. So there's that. That's going to StitchCon, or that's not going to StitchCon. That's in timeout. This is what I'm going to start at StitchCon. It is the Moonlight sampler that I got from the Needlework Expo. Well, I didn't go because I'm not a retailer. I bought it from one of the shops that got it afterwards. And so it's this, and it looks really, really pretty. And the sampler, the part above the sampler reads, though my soul is set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. It is a text from the poem The Old Astronomer and His Pupil by Sarah Williams. I have loved that quote for a very, very, very long time. Like, to the point that I don't need to read it off of the fabric or the pattern anymore. I'm doing it on this, which is a 20 count fabric from Be Stitch Me. It's originally supposed to be stitched on a 40 count linen, I want to say. What does this say? Hold on, it tells me. The model was stitched on 40 count wood smoke linen from Lakeside Linens, but Be Stitch Me had a really pretty gray on 20 count, so I'm going to do it on that and save what's left of my eyesight. So that is going to StitchCon. My June bookshelf is going to StitchCon. This is a Taylor and Cromwell kit. So I got everything I needed from the Taylor and Cromwell box, and I've been subbed to them for quite a while now. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. We have our little sandworm, Shai Halud over here. We have our little Gum Jabbar, our little box of pain, and of course the red Mentat juice. And I'm doing this as a present for my father, because we are a very big sci-fi family. My dad loves Dune. I've tried to read Dune. I cannot read it. I currently have it on audiobook. I'm seeing if I can listen to it. It may just be the writing style, but I don't know. I also have this one. This is not going to StitchCon. This is Haunted Happenings. No, sorry, Hallows Eve Haunting. And it was in a Halloween mystery box from 11 Dial a year ago, maybe a couple years ago now. I can't remember, but it was before the drama with Autumn Lane happened. And this is the fabric, and that is a 28 count Lugana. I am very hesitant to start stitching on this because that is a lot of teeny tiny holes. So, yeah. That one's staying here. We're not starting him. Again, not going to StitchCon. I have a couple of these. These are pre-printed, so I just stitch over the green bits. And then when I wash it out, all of this stuff, like the green and the lines and everything, come out. As you can see, this is a very 310 kit, 310 heavy kit. It has 4 colors. These are, I have 2 of these kits, 3 of these kits. I have 3 of these kits, and there are for days when, after I get done with work, I can't count. My brain is dead, and all I can do is match the colors. So that is what that one is for. This I got at a flea market, the bag anyway. I think it was a case for like a tablet or maybe like a Chromebook, but it works really well for projects. And so I have this one in here, which is going to be the Tiki Room, or Tiki Time project, which was from Ink Circles, I want to say. And I have it on the fabric that they used. I bought it from their store after I bought the pattern. The pattern is digital, so I have that on Pattern Keeper. Then we have one that I'll probably start soon, probably right after StitchCon. It's another Taylor and Cromwell. It's The First Pride Was a Riot. Love this because as a member of the Rainbow Crew or Alphabet Mafia, whatever phrase we're going with this week. So this is the Cryptid Cell. I get these project bags. I got them all off of Amazon, and I just put tape on them, and then when I finish the project, I can just take it off. And more like when I get tired of the project and I put it in timeout and put it in like a sandwich baggie or a gallon baggie and then put it in a box because it's in timeout. I can just take the tape off and put new tape on for what I'm putting in there instead. But this is the Cryptid Cell. As you can see, I've started the top corner. The Cryptid Cell is over, and the Supernatural Cell has started. Sal's being short for stitch along. And I don't stitch along with them, and I haven't bought the Supernatural one yet. I'm kind of sorry about that. Waiting to see what patterns come out, or what, animals come out with the Supernatural one. I loved the cryptid one. I loved every single cryptid that came out as it, and there were a couple of fan-made ones that came out after that Witchy Stitcher gave her blessing on that I will be adding. But that is the Cryptid Cell. One of the reasons this is kind of like not being worked on actively is because it hurts me to hold this massive frame. So I'm seeing if, now that I have my lap stand, if I put it on the lap stand, if it works a little bit better for me. My lap stand does expand, so I can just put whatever I am working on in there. I also, nope, that is the wrong thing. Try again. This is a pattern that came out for Ukraine Solidarity. It's a really pretty pattern. I love it a lot. And I'm working on that very slowly, but I'm working on it. And is this the last one that I have? No, I keep putting this one back here. So I have this one. I got it from Stitch Boutique in Boston. We went up to Boston for a concert, and I got this. This is hand painted on the canvas, and you don't split your floss to use this one, so this is, I guess, more embroidery than it is cross stitch. But the shop was super sweet, and they had a lot of stuff for finishing stuff too. So this is my last work in progress that I can easily lay my hands on, or that isn't currently in timeout. And it is my wolf pre-printed. I've done quite a bit of it, but I also have a whole lot more to go. This is a gift for one of my partners, just like the Castle Don't Look It's For Yule. And like, so you see the green and the yellow here. I have to stitch over those, and then again I'll wash it. And when I wash it, all of that will come out. and you'll just be left with this really pretty design. I'm still not screwing with the French knots that are supposed to happen in this one. French knots scare me. I may see if a colonial knot will work instead, because that looks a little less scary. Like, there are certain things that I'm really good at cross-stitch wise, but like even doing like black work, like I can do a little bit of back stitching, but black work scares the crap out of me. But so this is going to StitchCon. This is getting started at StitchCon. This is going to StitchCon. This is going to StitchCon. And probably not the lap stand, but this is going to StitchCon. And hopefully this will be finished at StitchCon. We shall see, we shall see. I have a lot of works in progress. I am probably going to be uploading this to the, I think it was Crossroads Floss and Fabric, or Crossroads Stitching, or I don't remember the name that I set up for it, but basically it is a group that I have with a few friends of mine that may possibly eventually become a business with a few friends of mine for doing hand-dyed fabric, hand-dyed floss, but also like hand-dyed yarn. And basically we want to make it like this big ultimate like fiber art sort of a shop. So it would have yarn, and it would have fabric for cross stitch, and it would have floss for cross stitch, but it would also have embroidery floss, you know, for actually like embroidery and needlework. Oh no, is that one dead? Apparently. Now they're both dead. Great. Nope, they're not. I just screwed them up a little bit. I have these, and they have like the little lights on them. And so I was fidgeting with them, and I was like, oh god, I broke the lights. No, I didn't. I just need to stop fidgeting with stuff. But, so yeah, that is my first floss tube, I think. I told you about me. I told you about my works in progress, that I'm going to StitchCon. I would like to keep this up as a regular thing, but Saturdays are really the only days that I would have that I would be able to film, and that's because it's the only days that are quiet in my house. Every other day is kind of wild. I work full-time in IT. My live-in partner works at a restaurant. My other partner works at a zoo, and my other partner is an engineer. And all of us seem to be the kind of people that are the backbone of whatever place that we're at. Like, without us, the whole thing falls down. I don't know how I collected all of us into one little group, but I have. But I will be meeting a few friends at StitchCon, mostly from the Cross Stitch Chat Discord server. They're a really great bunch of people. They have helped me through so much. And we're just there for each other, and we laugh and we talk. They are very much enablers. Do not go there. I went there with one work in progress. One. And now you see what I have. I have 3 finishes. I have Bless This Wretched Hive of Scum and Villainy, executive producer Dick Wolf, and this one that I fairly just recently finished. It is My Story Isn't Finished, and I just kind of ad-libbed this guy with some variegated floss. It is a little off-center. I thought I was starting correctly. I was not. I also didn't measure this to make sure that this would fit correctly. This is how not to do a project. But I'm hoping that when I get it framed, that it will look okay. I don't think that I'm really going to mat it, because like it's got enough of its own beautiful color right there. but I might just get rid of this, kind of like that, just kind of fold it down, and that way it's a little bit more even on the outsides, and you know, fold it down and then frame it. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. I've never framed anything before. One of the things that I have finished is framed, and that is my Bless This Wretched Hive of Scum and Villainy, which has 2 lightsabers on it, because I didn't really want like a Bless This House or even like a Bless This Mess, because my house is definitely a sci-fi, Star Wars, Dune, Dragon Riders of Pern kind of a house, so Bless This Wretched Hive of Scum and Villainy was definitely the way to go. That was the first cross-stitch that I finished. I did executive producer Dick Wolf for my live-in partner because he loves everything Law and Order. Not so much like the SVUs or the other spin-offs, but like the original Law and Order, he's watched all of them numerous times. He will put that show on in the background and just let it go. Law and Order is one of his comfort shows, and he loves it. So I found and it's just literally white words on a black background, and it just says executive producer Dick Wolf. But if you've paid attention to Law and Order, you know exactly what that is. And he fell in love with it, so I did that one for him. So I'm going to continue working on the one I have for StitchCon, the one I want to finish at StitchCon. That's probably what I'm going to work on all week. That way it is hopefully finishable by StitchCon. I'm probably going to take this up there with me and see if Keepsakes has framing and finishing stuff. If they do, I might see what I can do for this one. But other than that, I will pack more projects than I will pack clothes. I will wing it on clothes, not even gonna lie, as I'm just packing a carry-on and a personal bag. So there's that. I think that pretty much covers all of me and an intro to me and my works in progress. And I hope that this Flosstube channel grows and continues to grow. So stay tuned next time for I have no idea. Theoretically, next Saturday would be the Saturday in StitchCon, and I could probably take 10 or 15 minutes to do, definitely not vlogging from StitchCon, but I might take 10 or 15 minutes in our hotel room and be just like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's amazing, and this is what's freaking me out. We'll see. We will see. I might just wait until after StitchCon and then pick up a regular schedule from there. Other than that, I hope you guys all have a great week and happy stitching, and may the frog never visit you.